Good morning, kids. Okay, so today we are going to learn about adjectives. Now, we learned about nouns last week, and now we're going to learn about adjectives, which are words that describe our nouns. And what are nouns? What did we talk about last week that nouns are? Nouns are a person, a place, a thing, or an idea, right? And so adjectives are words that describe those nouns. So if someone is beautiful, or if someone is short, or if someone is tall, if someone is funny, if someone is sad, those are all adjectives. They tell us how the person is, what the person is, and who they are. So our adjectives, as we said, are describing words. So today we are going to say, I can identify adjectives that are more intense shades of meanings, and I can identify adjectives that are less intense shades of meanings. So we can have adjectives by themselves, but we can also have different degrees or amounts of these adjectives. And that means that it can mean that an adjective is more or less. So would you say that big is a big adjective or a small adjective? That's right, it's big. What about large? Large is another adjective, but do you think it's more than big, or is it less than big? If we say something is big and then we say it was large, it would mean that it's even more big than big, if that makes sense. Then we can say, what about gigantic? What do you think of when you hear gigantic? For me, I think of something super, 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 super big. So if you have a lot of big in something, you say that thing is gigantic. You are exaggerating. You're saying it's very, very, very big. It's very large. So if you just think something's big, you just think, oh, it's a big ball. But then we say something's large, we think of something even more, right? And then we go to the next and we say something is gigantic. So that is what we are talking about when we are talking about shades of meaning. There are different adjectives and they can describe something to be more or less. So let's go over a few of these. So right here at the bottom we have pretty. So when you think of something that's pretty, you think, oh, it's very nice to look at, right? Then we can go up one more step. We can say that person is beautiful, and that means they are even more pretty than just pretty. We think they're even more pretty, and so we would say beautiful. Then we can go up to the next level, which is gorgeous. So when we say something's gorgeous, we think it's pretty, it's beautiful, but then if it's gorgeous, it means it's just the best, right? Let's look at another one. For nervous, we can say someone's nervous, and that means maybe they want to do something, but they're hesitant. They don't know if they can do it, right? So we have nervous at the bottom, and then we can go up one more step, and if someone is nervous or hesitant to do something, we can say they're scared. It means they're very hesitant, like they're very timid, they're not so sure about it. And then we can go up to the next step, and someone who doesn't want to do anything at all, we would say that they are terrified. So do you see how these words kind of stair step? So they all mean the same thing, right? Or a similar thing. But each word, as we go up the stair step, describes someone or something in like a bigger way, right? So let's do this one. We have big. We kind of already talked about this one. We have big. And then another word for something big, we could say it's huge, which means it's very, very big, right? And then if we go up one more step, we can say something is gigantic, which means it's not only big, it's not only huge, but it's really, really, really big. So we would say it's gigantic. So these are vocabulary words that we will see in different books as we continue to learn how to read. And as you read bigger books and more word books and chapter books, you will see that some writers and some authors, they will use these different words that describe the same thing, but they will be able to pick different ones to describe the person or the thing they're talking about. So as we write and as we use our imagination, we can be creative in choosing different words to help us tell someone what we want to say. So today we are going to do an activity that talks about this, that talks about our adjectives and the different ways we can use adjectives and the ways we can use the same adjective that has different meanings. Okay? So here, Teacher Hannah has, what is this? What does this look like to you? Right? It's summertime right now, and one of my favorite treats in summertime is ice cream. Does anyone else like ice cream? What is your favorite ice cream? What is your favorite flavor? If you could go with your parents to the ice cream store, what flavor do you pick out? I think my favorite is strawberry. Do you guys like strawberry? Okay, so we are going to build an ice cream cone today. Actually, we're going to each build 3 different ice cream cones. So this is one that Teacher Hannah did. So on the cone, we have the word huge, right? And so we are going to have a pile of different scoops of ice cream, right? And they have different adjectives on them, like icy, frosty, disgusting. Okay, so we're going to have, I have written different adjective words on our ice cream scoops, okay? And so we are all going to take our cones. This one says yucky, and this one says cold, and on this side we have yummy. And so we are going to match the adjectives to our cone word, okay? So here we have huge. So what is another word that we could use to describe something that's huge, right? We've talked about it. We can call something big, which means the same type of description as huge. We have a large, and we have gigantic at the top. So right now, we are just going to work on putting our scoops of ice cream to the ones that match the cone, okay? And then we will use our tape. We will put a piece of tape on the back of our ice cream, and we will attach them to our cone and make little ice cream cones, okay? So after we finish making our cones, we will then go back and we will do our exit ticket activity, okay? Which means that we will have a worksheet, and we will try to put our adjective words, our description words, in order from less or weak or small to big or the most, okay? So here we have big at the very bottom, okay? So I put big at the very bottom because that is the smallest word for big or large or huge that we can use. And then if we go up one more step, we say that large is an even bigger shade or meaning than big, right? And then at the very top, our tippy top point, we have gigantic, which means it's the biggest. It's the biggest we can get, right? Huge, gigantic, very, 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 very big. Okay? So let's do one more. We have yummy on the back. So let's do yummy together. Okay? We have gross. We have wonderful. No, we have wonderful, great, and excellent. Okay? So which one do you think we would put first for yummy? What do you think is the smallest, if we say something is yummy? What would the first word we put on here be? Do you know? Can you guess? I think for me, I would pick great. Great seems like, oh, if something's yummy, it's great, it's good, right? It tastes good. Okay, then what do you think is the next step? If we keep going higher, what is the next word we could pick after great? Between we have excellent left and we have wonderful. Which one do you think you would put next? I think I would put wonderful, because if we have something yummy, it can be great, right? It can be wonderful, which means it's even more good than great, right? It's even more yummy. And then, what do you think we should put at the very, very top when something is super, 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 super good? Like it's just so good you want to keep eating all your ice cream, right? Okay? Then we have the word excellent, which means it's great, it's wonderful, it's all these words put together. So we would put that one at the tippy, tippy top. So I'm going to walk around and you guys need to start matching your adjective words, your scoops of ice cream, and put them with the right cone, okay? And then I will walk around and help you if you need any help, okay? And then we will see what ice cream cones you guys complete, okay? And then, so right now, we're just working with our ice cream cones to put the right adjective that matches our ice cream cone. Then on our worksheet, we will work on putting them together from the littlest to the biggest, okay? So just work on matching. That'll be our first step right now, is matching our adjective. So if I have Frosty here, do you think Frosty goes with yucky, or does Frosty go with cold? Which ice cream cone would you put Frosty on? Right, I think we would put it on cold, because if something is frosty, like ice, it means ice is cold, right? So we would put that on our cold cone. Then what about bad? If we have something bad, is bad something that's cold, or is bad something that's yucky? When something is bad, is it yucky or is it cold? Which cone would we put bad on? That's right, we would put it on yucky. If something's yucky, it's not good, it's bad. Let's see what other one we have. If something is chilly, if something is brr cold, which cone would we put it on? Which would we match chili to? Right, chili is cold. Goes on the cold cone. Okay, what if something is disgusting? Yuck, gross. Which cone would we put disgusting on? Right, it goes on the yucky cone. And then what about gross? If something is gross, it's not good, it's bad, ew. That's right. It goes on the yucky cone. Very good. So, class, what are description words called? What are these description words that we are learning called? These words describe nouns, which we learned last week, are a person, a place, a thing, or an idea, right? Those are the things that we use adjectives. And adjectives means describing. We are describing a person, a place, a thing, which is a noun. So adjectives describe nouns, and usually the noun will come after the adjective. So the adjective will come first, like the small girl, or the funny mom, or the yucky ice cream, right? How can ice cream be yucky? The yucky shoe, or the dirty shoe, or the good girl. Okay, so these descriptions, these adjective words, these describing words come before, in front of the noun. Our person, which is our mom or our girl or our shoe, those are all nouns. Person, people, places, or things. So, let's complete our lesson. let's complete our activity. Let's stay on task, and Teacher Hannah will walk around and help you. Remember, we raise our hand if we need help, and Teacher Hannah or Teacher Harvey will come walk around and help us, okay? So we are going to be matching our ice cream scoops to the right cones and taping them on. If you want to ask one of our teachers for help before you tape them, that will be a good idea so that we don't mess up our papers, right? So you put the right ice cream in the right cone pile, and then we will make sure it's okay, and then we will tape them on to make our ice cream cone, okay?